Hello and welcome. I am Lopamudra Moitro and you are listening to my weekly podcast, What's in a Story, where I read stories from my books along with a small introduction about each. These stories are from my work as an anthropologist from across India and South Asia, and the introductions with each story helps to explain different related information about, say, maybe aspects like history, languages and literature, music, trade and economy, festivals, or facts about archaeology, and many other things which are all important to understand or get a meaning or a context of a story. In this second season, we will listen specially to narratives of and about water bodies from Asia, and this will include stories from the smallest of water bodies like wells or small ponds to lakes, rivers, or the sea and the ocean. Let's listen to today's episode in season 2 of What's in a Story. About the story, Madhukar NOUKO Pujo and the story of Chand Saudagar. Held sometime between January and February, the NOUKO Pujo or the boat puja begins on the day of Saraswati Puja or Vasant Panchami or Sri Panchami and is held across few places in lower Assam Brahmaputra Valley and extensively across Barak Valley. The festival and the storyline reflect respect for the riverine ecology of the region. It also connects to the essence of both environment and nature on one hand and trade on the other, thus connecting an ethos of prosperity that a flourishing environment and biodiversity begets. Thus, the larger storyline of Manasa Mangal Kavya also reflects the basic essence of nature and the significance of conservation and preservation. The storyline also represents man's continuous battles of survival against the forces of nature. The storyline of Manasa Mangal Kavya, which the festival follows, is the famous poetry from erstwhile Bengal region, which includes the present country of Bangladesh, which is also said to have originated as part of oral traditions long back but was written down later on during the medieval time in Bengal. This story, written originally in a lyrical manner, in a lyrical poetry manner, is known through various names, and there are different versions which have been written by many authors roughly corresponding to the same time period. It is also referred to as Manasa Purana or Manasa Bijaya. According to Sukumar Sen, there are 15 versions of the text, while D.C. Sen has mentioned 58 authors. Interestingly, and also as mentioned by Edward C. Dimock Jr. in his the name of the book is The Goddess of Snakes in Medieval Bengali Literature. All of these varied versions have the basic story of Chand Saudagar, Manasa, Behula and Lakkhindar as the center point. But each one carries its own unique style of presentation, including slight variation in style, language and details within the storyline. Follows the story Madhukar NOUKO Pujo and the story of Chand Saudagar from my book How the World Was Born, Wondrous Indian Myths and Legends. story Madhukar NOUKO Pujo and the story of Chand Saudagar. To be precise, this is a story of the boat named Madhukar, which used to belong to merchant Chand, and this specific story belongs to an episode from the very famous Manasa Mangal Kavya, originating from the erstwhile region of Bengal in eastern India from around 16th century. I read this from my book How the World Was Born, Wondrous Indian Myths and Legends by Aleph Book Company. The NOUKO Puja, or worshipping of the boat, connects to an important storyline from the famous Manasa Mangal Kavya, or local Puran, of eastern India, which was written down sometime around the 16th century, dating to the time of the medieval period of the erstwhile region of Bengal, which also includes the present-day Assam and the country of Bangladesh. Held annually in open spaces with water bodies, the festival marks the Gurmi or Gurmo or Ojhas, that is spiritual healers, as well as the devotees gathering to pray and offer the ritual music and dance. The story of the celebration of the very first NOUKO Pujo is mentioned in the literary work of medieval Bengal written by poet Ketokadash Khimanando, that is the Manasa Mangal Kavya. According to this story, Chand Saudagar, or the merchant Chand, was a very rich and famous merchant residing in Champuknagar, near present-day Chayagaon in Assam. A well-known and devout Shaivite, Chand only believed in the worship of Shiva. His dedication as a worshipper and his ardent devotion was well known even in far-off places. Even Shiva himself knew and admired his devotion. Now, it so happened that Shiva had created a daughter who grew up in Naglok in the netherworlds, and her name was Manusha. She grew up as the queen of snakes, and knowing herself to be the daughter of Shiva, she wanted to receive equal respect just like Shiva. She also desired to be worshipped by all of mankind on earth, though Shiva knew that this was impossible, but knowing Manusha to be adamant, finally found a way. There was only one way to popularize her puja amongst mankind, and that was to request Chand, the merchant, Chand, that is Chand Saudagar, to conduct or to perform her puja. This would inspire others to follow this example, and thereby the puja would gradually be accepted across mankind on earth. It was believed that if the common people saw Chand thus as a strict worshipper of Shiva, worshipping somebody else, that to a goddess of snakes, they will also follow his path. Thus Shiva thought that this will surely make Manusha famous on earth. However, the work seemed more difficult than it was assumed, as Chand refused to conduct the puja. In her fits of anger, Manusha started to trouble Chand and push him into various adverse situations. It began by drowning his 14 ships at sea and killing all of his 7 sons. Very soon after Chand experienced such misfortune, his youngest son, Lakkhindar, also lost his life on the very first night of his marriage to a beautiful woman, Behula. Chand had taken all precautions, though, to guard Lakkhindar's room, the wedding night that they were spending in. However, Manusha's scheming mind found a way to kill the young man. Though the goddess managed to even kill the last of Chand's successors, yet her struggles were far from over. Lakkhindar's widow, the young Behula, refused to give up on her dead husband, and through her very staunch decision, she floated down a river on a raft and reached heaven with her husband's dead body. She then prayed and appeased all the deities in heaven by performing a touching dance in front of all, including Shiva. Thus, finally, Manusha was forced to grant her the blessing of life to Lakkhindar. She also brought back to life all the other 7 sons of Chand, as well as all returned, that is, all of his 14 ships which she had destroyed earlier. However, all these blessings came with a staunch promise by Behula that she would make Chand perform Manusha's Puja on earth. Behula did manage to make Chand perform the puja, though it was done by Chand with his left hand instead of the customary right hand. Nevertheless, Manusha was happy with Chand at least performing the puja, and ever since, Manusha's puja became known across lands near and far. The festival of NOUKO Puja celebrates the ending sequence of the mythological story from Manasa Mangal Kavya, the one which I just narrated, where Manusha returns the 14 ships of Chand Saudagar. According to the story, these 14 ships were carried by 400 snakes on their backs to the residence of Chand, who was overjoyed and welcomed them to his home by conducting a puja with aromatics, lights, and the blowing of conch shells. Different musical instruments were played and dances were performed to celebrate Manusha's benevolence. Thus, at present, the festival includes building a grand float that resembles a boat after Lakkhindar's boat by the name Madhukar. The worship also celebrates all deities who were present in heaven, in front of whom Behula performed the touching dance. It is believed that once Chand welcomed and worshipped all the 14 ships at his home, people got to know and associate the worship of Manusha with fortune and wealth.